There will always be reasons to stop. You'll feel it again, the voice in your head whispering, maybe this isn't for me, maybe it's time to quit, and it'll make perfect sense to stop, because there will always be reasons to stop. The pain gets heavy, the results take too long, the support disappears, your confidence starts to crack, and the world keeps spinning like your effort doesn't matter. You begin to wonder, what if I'm not cut out for this? What if all this sacrifice is just a waste? Let me tell you something honest, every person who ever made it felt this way, and most of them almost gave up, not once, not twice, but 100 times, because life is designed to test you, to see how bad you want it, to see if you'll fold under pressure or fight through it. The reasons to stop, they'll show up every day, but so will the reasons to keep going. You just have to look harder for them. So when that voice comes again, when it tempts you to quit, answer it with this: there will always be reasons to stop, but you only need one reason to keep going, and that reason is bigger than your doubt. You won't always feel strong, and you won't always feel sure. Some days the dream will feel miles away, and all you'll see is failure in the rear-view mirror. But this is the part of the journey no one talks about, the quiet season, the confusing season, the part where nothing makes sense, and everything feels like a dead end. This is where most people stop, right here, right in the middle, when the motivation dies and the silence grows louder. But I need you to understand this: it's not the beginning that builds you, and it's not the ending that defines you. It's the decision to continue when everything in you says, why bother? There will be days when it feels like you're running in circles, where effort feels pointless and progress is invisible. But you're not going in circles, you're going through refinement, you're not behind. You're just being prepared. You see, reasons to quit will always feel louder because they're easy to find, but that one quiet reason to stay in the fight, that's what will carry you. So when the doubts scream louder than your faith, stand anyway, work anyway, believe anyway, because those who finish aren't the ones who never felt like quitting. They're the ones who refuse to. You don't need permission to keep going. You don't need applause. You don't need proof that it's working. You need discipline. You need vision. And most of all, you need a reason, because the mind will play tricks on you. It will magnify your failures and minimize your progress. It will lie. It will say you're stuck. It will say you're behind. It will say you've wasted too much time, but here's the truth most never hear: you are exactly where you need to be to grow into the person who can carry the weight of your future. No shortcut can teach you endurance. No easy path will teach you strength. The reason you're uncomfortable is because you're shedding the old version of you. That's why it hurts. That's why it feels unstable. Because you're not going backward, you're being rebuilt. So the next time you feel like quitting, remember, this discomfort is proof that you're not who you used to be, and you're on your way to becoming someone you've never been. You'll see them, the ones who walked away. They had the same dreams, the same potential, but they let one failure convince them it was final. They listened to their fear. They followed the easy road, and now they wonder what if. But you still have a choice. Every day you choose to believe or to back down, to grow or to give up, to become who you were born to be or to settle for who the world told you to be. Don't underestimate the power of one more step, because one more step becomes one more win, and one more win becomes momentum. That's how it builds. Not in one grand moment, but in hundreds of silent ones, where you chose to keep going even when nobody saw it, especially when nobody saw it. The spotlight doesn't create greatness. The dark does, the invisible seasons, the tired mornings, the empty rooms. So don't run from the silence, let it sharpen you. Because one day this moment, the one where you almost gave up, will be the exact reason you rise. You will never run out of reasons to stop. Pain will give you reasons, fear will give you reasons, doubt will hand you a list a mile long. But ask yourself this: have any of those reasons ever made you proud? Have you ever looked back and said, I'm so glad I gave up? No, never. because quitting only feels good for a moment, but regret lasts a lifetime, and the crazy thing is you're closer than you think. Closer to the breakthrough, closer to the version of you who doesn't fold under pressure, closer to the life you've only dared to imagine, the storm you're in. It's not the end, it's the process of becoming someone who no longer fears storms. This is your refining fire, and you either let it consume you or you rise from it, forged. Every setback you face isn't proof that it's over. It's proof that it matters. Most people stop at pain. That's their limit, the first sign of struggle, and they slow down, then stop, then quit. But pain is not the problem. Pain is part of the process. It's not meant to break you. It's meant to build something inside you that comfort never could. You think champions are born from ease? No, they are built in the trenches, shaped by losses, trained by failure, hardened by rejection. They didn't get there because it was easy. They got there because they refused to stop. And so must you, because you're not in this to impress people. You're in this to fulfill purpose, and purpose always demands pain. You'll cry, you'll doubt, you'll want to walk away, but if you stay long enough, you'll witness the version of you that only pain could reveal. That's what you're fighting for, not a trophy, not applause, but transformation. You see, the truth is, most people want the glory, but they don't want the grind. They want the win, but not the war that comes before it. They love the idea of success, but hate the discomfort that builds it. So they stop because it's hard, because it's lonely, because nobody claps for them in the dark. But what they don't know is the dark is where the giants are made, when no one's watching, when no one's validating. When it's just you and your vision, and the only applause is the sound of your heartbeat saying, keep going. And this is where most give up, right before the moment that changes everything. They don't know that pain has a purpose, that suffering is sacred when it births strength, that silence is not rejection, it's preparation. So, if it hurts right now, good, you're not breaking, you're building. You'll feel tired, you'll feel forgotten, you'll feel like your prayers are bouncing off the ceiling, like the universe has overlooked your name. But here, this delay is not denial. You're still on the path, even if it feels like you're crawling, even if you've stumbled 100 times, even if your wins seem small and your losses scream louder. This is still the journey. And every great journey is filled with reasons to stop. But you didn't come this far to quit halfway. You didn't suffer this long just to end up average. You didn't dream this big just to stay small. No, you came to fight, to push, to prove to the world and yourself that your story doesn't end in retreat. So take one more step, even when your legs shake, even when your hands tremble, because that step may just be the one that changes everything. Let me tell you something you already know, but maybe you need to hear it again. There will always be reasons to stop, excuses, endless doubts, constant distractions. Waiting at every corner. Life will never run out of ways to make you question yourself. Your mind will whisper, this isn't working, this is too much, no one's noticing. No one cares, but here's the secret. All of that is normal, because anything worth building comes with battles worth surviving. Every dream asks for proof, every goal demands perseverance, and the difference between those who make it and those who don't is not talent, it's not luck, it's not even timing, it's the refusal to stop. So here's what you need to understand. You are not weak because you want to quit, you are strong because you haven't. You've faced storms most people wouldn't survive, you've carried weights most people couldn't lift, you've cried and crawled and cracked, but you're still here. That alone makes you a warrior, and as long as you're still breathing, the fight is not over. You may have 1,000 reasons to stop, but you only need one reason to keep going. You still believe. Remember the title, there will always be reasons to stop, but the greatest things in life, the love, the purpose, the legacy, they belong to those who don't. So when you feel like quitting, don't. Rest if you must, cry if you must, but then get up and keep going, because you're closer than you think, and one day soon it'll all make sense.